Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're actually going to be talking with the Destiny 2 Hardlight. For those of you who don't know, the Destiny 2 Hardlight is actually a gun from the video game Destiny 2, and it's actually sponsored by Postmates today. Postmates is a delivery service that will actually deliver your Hardlight straight to your door. The only thing is that your Hardlight, isn't going to be a God roll Hardlight, but, that's the thing. I actually grinded for months to get the God roll Hardlight, and I'll tell you what, it was really kind of an experience because, back in the day when I played D1, D1 didn't have the Hardlight in it, and I thought that's why the game wasn't as great as it is now, because Destiny 2 actually has the Hardlight in it. And for those of you who want to know, what the Hardlight is, the Hardlight is the antonym of soft, because, let's say hypothetically that light is a material. A soft light would be like a spaghetti noodle, but the hard light would be like a strong, proud Italian uncooked noodle. And that's the way I want you to imagine the hard light. Not as just one gun, but it's a way, an identity, a way of life, the way you see it, and that's just the hard light. That's not the hard light without the god complex with her, the god roll hard light, as I like to call it. And here's the thing you need to know about the god roll hard light, is that the god roll hard light actually has 3 or 5 to 6 rolls with it, which the kind of rolls, honestly, it varies between person to person. The kind of rolls I got with it were biscuits from Bob Evans. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rolls. It didn't come with butter. I was fine with that because I'm actually on a diet right now. I'm trying to go low fat, and butter has a lot of fats in it. Actually, you can get that delivered by Postmates for you. The thing about the Hardlight is, I actually started out in law school, playing Destiny 2, and I'll tell you what, that game honestly ruined my life. But it kept me coming back over and over and over again, because there's this promise, this I had seen other people get the God roll Hardlight, and this recognition that flares up in their eyes. They see it, their eyes explode, and they're like, oh my god, dude, I just got a God roll Hardlight. It's like seeing somebody win $1 million. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment, and actually it's something I've been trying to capture in my most recent play and film called God space roll. You are brackets not bracket alone bracket, you are not bracket hard bracket light. And here's the thing, honestly, I think this really relates to the themes that can be found in a lot of Western philosophies like Nietzsche or Voltaire, stuff like that, because while they may seem completely different, it's that fundamental idea of hard and light, like Nietzsche being hard but Voltaire being light. Two different clashing ideologies that actually come together in one beautiful matrilineal union that really makes the world this interesting, beautiful beast that we have to fight with. But it's one of those things that you have to accept it as life goes on. It's one of those things that comes with maturity, is that Hardlight, the God roll of Hardlight, really signifies when somebody becomes an adult in our culture. And I think that's actually a very good thing. You can really honestly gauge somebody's maturity by asking them, do you have a God roll Hardlight? That's the whole preamble there, but I really think that it's time to get into the nitty-gritty on how you get this, because you're probably thinking now, how do I get the God roll Hardlight? Well, I actually have a 100% perfect way to do this. It is surefire. There's no RNG involved at all. So basically, I found this while I was taking the bar, because I actually got up and left my bar exam that I had studied 4 years for, or not even 4 years, 8 years at that point that I had studied for. I actually got up and left to play D2 to farm for this Hardlight, and I realized that was all in vain now, because there was this perfect way to do it. And I'll tell you what, that perfect way has been right under everybody's noses this entire time. And basically, there's this guy called Zur in Destiny 2, and he actually sells a God Roll Hardlight pretty often. But what you have to do is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so basically, what you need to do is you need to get on your phone and wait until 3 a.m. Okay, why 3 a.m.? Well, 3 a.m. is the witching hour, as many YouTubers will tell you. And what you need to do is you need to call Zur on your phone at 3 a.m. Okay, and when you do that, that actually activates something in the game called the God Roll system, okay? And basically, if you have a God complex at that point, okay, Zur will answer the phone for you, okay? And basically, he will say, all right, what are the numbers? What do the numbers mean, Mason? Okay, and you need to tell him what the numbers mean. Okay, the numbers are actually coordinates to a Soviet battleship that's a broadcasting station that's stationed in the Caribbean. Okay, I don't know if you know that, but what's very interesting is that the numbers are actually implanted in everybody's minds. But we don't know this because it's actually been being suppressed by 5G for like the last 2 years. Okay, and I'll be honest, guys, like, it's getting real out there, and, like, what are you supposed to do when Zur calls you? Zur shouldn't call you, you should be the one calling him. If he calls you, you've done it wrong, you failed, you need to throw your phone away and throw it out the window, and pray to God, okay? You need to throw it out the window and pray to God that, that Zur doesn't come for you. Because if he does, you're never going to get the God Roll Hardlight. You're only going to get Zur, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants the MIDI multi-tool anymore, okay? Nobody wants that. All right, I don't want the MIDI multi-tool. I'll even listen to MIDIs, okay? Like that's like 2002, dude. Okay, like, do you even know what a MIDI is? Like, for my younger viewers out there, like, a MIDI is this thing that poor people would listen to. And honestly, like, God called me, and it turns out I'm rich. So, I hate to say it, but, the MIDI multi-tool, it isn't there. It's not good for PvE. It's actually, like, decent in PvP, but the Hardlight is what you want to get. I spent hours grinding for my mountaintop and my thorn. Okay, my thorn took me so long to get. Okay, but I'll tell you, the Hardlight trumps everything else. Like just trumps everything else. And I know I'm not allowed to use that word, but it trumps everything else. And what am I afraid of? That's something that I'm asked. And a lot of people say oh, all fear stems from the unknown or something like that. But I honestly, a lot of my fear is just something that's internal and inherent. Like you have it inside of you, and that you what scares me the most, and I think what scares humans the most, is not things that are not understandable to them, but it's things that it's themselves. It's when they don't understand themselves, or they can't even begin to understand themselves, because it's human nature to always think that you're the hero of your own story. But when that illusion comes crashing down, when you're grinding for the Hardlight after 10,000 hours of playing a game that really isn't even worth playing, because the core gameplay loop is just doing the same 5 things over and over, where are you? You start to wonder, what am I doing here? Why am I even doing this? Why am I teaching you how to do this? I'm ruining young lives. I'm ruining your life by doing this, and you're just going along with it because you want haha funny Destiny gun. Like you think this is some kind of joke. Like that song, or the movie Joker. Dude, this isn't a joke. This isn't something to laugh at. There are real people out here, and they're like, oh my god, I can't use the MIDI multi-tool anymore, or I can't use my rose or my thorn or my mountaintop or whatever. Guys, I really I need my I need this Hardlight because it'll make me good in the Crucible. I'm telling you, man. Just go outside and really think about everything, because when I was younger, I didn't spend enough time doing that. I just mostly played, on like on these video games, and talked to people that I didn't even know, and like pretended to know because they're the only ones around me. And honestly, like it's just like everybody goes through this. Everybody at some point, everybody has to go, all right, I'm growing up now, I need to mature, because there's this world out there that I'm afraid of, and I know that I'm afraid of it, but I don't understand that fear yet, that visceral, angry fear, but that's what the hard light represents, is this hope of a people, this hope of humanity, to actually pull through, to get through the dark ages and show the world that they're here, that they're not gonna go quietly into the dark, but honestly, like, I'll tell you what, man, this is just like, I don't even know. I started this with the intention to teach you how to get this, but I honestly, I can't even do that anymore, man. Okay? Like, does the hard light shred? Yes, it does. Okay? But honestly, man, like, the Polaris Lance, Whisper of the Worm, that's the way it should be. And get God rolls on those, because those are actual rolls that, like, deserve. Because, like, listen, I never had a positive female role model in my life. I never had a positive God roll in my life. But honestly, that's just how it be. You know how I mean, man? Because, like, I honestly, like, I'm just trying here, dude. And like, what's going